Did you guys hear about the hit and run that happened last year? It's right in your old area.
What?
Our film is called Shattered, and our trailer is about a girl who attempts to leave her tragic past and dark secrets behind her as she seeks a new start. However, her mysterious past will soon catch up to her.
Okay, so the first question: in what way does your media product use, develop, or challenge forms and conventions of real media products?
Right. Firstly, we swap gender roles. Instead of having a traditional male killer, we use a female killer and make her seem dominant and more not have the subordinate image of a female woman.
We've done this to kind of reflect onto the final girl, which is something that's common in like all conventions of the slasher genre.
The theory of the final girl is basically having a main character who is quite innocent and possibly a virgin, quite vulnerable. However, she gets herself in a bit of a sticky situation, tends to get stalked, and she tends to be the last person alive. And in the end, she basically kills or has a bit of a confrontation with her stalker, and she comes out on top. However, we decided to subvert this because our final girl isn't weak or vulnerable. Instead, she's more confident, or she gets more confident towards the end, and ends up.
She's actually the killer.
She ends up being
not
the killer.
exactly innocent either. She starts drinking in the beginning.
From the very
so that subverts from like
the very beginning. It shows in the trailer.
From the very beginning, she introduces more of a kind of rough girl, not
rough girl.
Okay.
Dominant.
More of a dominant.
Yeah.
Dominant girl.
More of a dominant character who is quite tough and can kind of look after herself rather than being weak and reliant on anybody else.
It's kind of like we split her personalities between the killer and the protagonist itself. Like the killer incorporates everything.
Okay, right.
Jack just.
Okay, so since we have a main female character, this goes against Marxist theory. He said that male middle class people are supposed to be more dominant, and female young people are supposed to be teenagers are the ones who are in the subordinate group. How we subverted from his theory and we put females as the more dominant people, and she's like who's she?
Yeah, I don't know what you're trying to say.
she's the killer. She's basically the killer. She's the one who's in control. So her
being part of a subordinate group makes her more, according to Marxist theory.
Marxist theory, yeah.
She would be a subordinate character because she is not white, middle-aged, or a male or a dominant. However, we chose to subvert this because we felt that she would be appropriate, especially for our niche market, who are most likely not looking for a mainstream middle-aged white man. It's quite a cultural reflection of a British film.
Another thing we tried to do was make it clear that our female protagonist was dominant, but without using the phalanx weapon. A phalanx weapon is basically the kind of male kind of orientation for in a form for a weapon. So normally, sort of whatever like a killer's wielding, like a chainsaw or knife or whatever. So we wanted to assert her dominance without using a phalanx weapon. So we didn't even have a phalanx weapon in our trailer, and we successfully done this.
I think we've done this mainly by developing the mise-en-scène kind of things, such as the dark lighting and the mysterious setting.
The claustrophobic settings like tunnels,
and emotion,
underneath
facial
stairs,
emotion of the characters.
Having kind of the dark and evil,
narrow.
And we tried to do all of this to
sense of tension as well.
Sound really?
Well, sound as well, because the
Well, we
music,
start
the
talking about
music
sound
would
now.
constantly build up the tension as it went along. However, at the same time, not using music was also really a useful feature, because sometimes you
Silence
can build up
can be
tension
something.
just by silence or
Silence would be
footsteps
tense, yeah.
or something like that can just build up equally amount as attention.
Alfred Hitchcock,
Yeah, the
that
movie
film,
The
The
Birds.
Birds.
Yeah.
It was completely like it was all birds. Like all you heard was birds, like chirping
Yeah,
and
yeah.
wings,
And
and that
build
was
up
so
the tension.
effective. That's probably what we wanted to have in our trailer as well.
No, he's talking about
Because of the way
stock
modern trailers are made, we had to definitely have music.
Like leaving out quite a bit of dialogue and mainly having this kind of suspense building music would make it more ambiguous, therefore going against the whole predictable pleasure, because we didn't want our audience to kind of already from the trailer for it to give away too much to already know what to expect if they were to see the whole film.
We wanted to target a niche market.
Yeah, a
Instead
niche
of-
market who didn't want to have a mainstream film that gave away too much.
Yeah, because
We
we
enjoyed
wanted
the
to.
British film.
Yeah, because we wanted to target a niche market. We decided to not have any stock types.
We feel stock types is quite an Americanized thing.
Americanized,
Yeah.
Americanized
Maybe-
convention.
American,
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
British.
It all came from there.
Yeah, like you have the jock and then the geek and then the clever girl.
Well, we
The
didn't really have that. We
dumb
didn't have
blonde
any
girl?
of that, did we?
No.
Yeah, we never
Our
had
characters
No.
generally have no identity. They're
was
all
based-
definitely
Yeah.
characters, but they didn't conform to any stereotypes.
it
So the
was-
audience couldn't actually relate to us. Oh,
Yeah.
couldn't
Yeah,
relate.
Well, they
it's
could
less
relate to us,
predictable.
but
But they
Because
can-
usually when you see trailer for slasher films, you kind of assume, oh, there's a jock
blonde.
here, and yeah, there's a dumb
Blonde.
blonde, she's gonna
The
die
happy guy
first.
and-
The
But we
black
didn't
guy that
exactly
dies
have
first.
that.
We done it because we wanted
Yeah.
to appeal to more of a British audience who, in British schools you don't have, in British films you don't have the jock and then the blonde girl and all that. It's kind of like you said, the identities are left a bit secret. It's more focused on the plot rather than the characters.
Once
Yeah,
you
Like
remove-
then think about the
Once you
ethnic
remove
cast.
character expectations, that's why we didn't use any.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
One of the films that do this is Scream, where you do have the kind of vulnerable girl and then the funny guy and then
The smart guy.
and then
Yeah, the black guy that
and
dies
then the
first.
silly
Yes.
girl.
It kind of set the
Yeah.
whole kind of standard for that kind of
Exactly.
Yeah.
expectation.
So we
for the
chose to
audience.
kind of go against this and make it more
It's getting
for
way too mainstream.
individualists,
Yeah.
because
Right.
we didn't want our films to be mainstream. Yeah.
Another British movie called
Cool.
Demons Never Die,
Die.
and that had much more of an ethnic, diverse kind of cast amongst itself. I didn't follow stock types that would normally be in a slasher movie.
Yeah.
We have a young audience, and that conforms to
So our
all the
audience can relate
stereotypes
to
of a
easily.
slasher movie.
Because she's got like two identities. She's shown as weak
And strong.
and
at the same time.
dominant. How we included typography.
Oh shoot.
How we include typography
Yeah.
because
And then
we didn't have much dialogue in that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So we wanted to use typography to explain the story more instead of relying on dialogue.
Yeah.
Instead of relying on dialogue and all that.
Huh?
Conformed to how the beginning of slasher stalker films are
Quite
happy
slow.
and
Oh yeah.
yes, it's like slowly getting to the story.
In order to make sure the ages of the characters reflected properly onto the conventions of the slasher genre, we had to make sure the clothing fit the age group. Yeah, for our killer, we did conform mostly to normal killer conventions, because normally killers are
dark
shrouded,
Crowded.
so their
cloak,
identities kind of
hidden
blurred
identities,
away.
yeah.
Tends to be hidden
But we didn't have a mask.
under dark lighting or
Yeah,
dark
so we had
clothing.
a
cloak.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's
Oh,
the-
cloak.
cave cloak.
Cake cloak, yeah.
That was mainly used
To hide her
to hide her
identity.
identity.
We also incorporated aspects of Todorov's narrative theory, which is also common in other slasher films.
Such as Scream or
Creep.
Creep, where basically there's an equilibrium at the beginning.
Friday the 13th. What else?
There's an equilibrium at the beginning.
Which shows the happy scene,
When
everything's okay.
The
it's kind of
teenagers
calm.
mess around.
Yeah, the teenagers living their life every other day.
Drugs.
Then
And
kind
then
of
there's-
it just erupts into
Yeah,
this
the
kind of
destruction,
sudden
so something goes
destruction.
wrong.
Like sorry, wrong.
Yeah, and so within our trailer, that's when she got into the car and the crash happened, and
Then the recognition,
Oh yeah,
which would most likely be in our trailer when she decided to kind of get a new start and run away, but she realised that part of her path is still following her. So the first time you see the mysterious figure in the cloak, I suppose would be the
In a tunnel.
recognition.
yeah, and then after that, the montage.